Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, he's a best-selling author, but he kicked his first grade teacher in the shins last year. From Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello, Amazon sellers. My name is Jordan Malik. I'm your host of the Ask Jordan podcast. This is our 48th episode. Thank you so much for making me part of your day. Hey, it's Christmas is coming. It's right now, and I'm recording this. It's kind of mid to late September 2014. Christmas is coming, and many sellers, Amazon sellers, approach me and say, "Jordan, how can I really crush it this year with Christmas?" The kind of neat thing about Christmas is that your sales, they say the expression "tide lifts all boats." Your sales tend to increase exponentially, and you can tend to get much higher prices heading up to Christmas on Amazon.com versus other times of the year. So here's my tip for you, a free tip. Go to honestonlineselling.com. That's the name of my blog, honestonlineselling.com. The same link is jordanmalik.com/blog. I bring you to the same place. Do a search in the search field on the right, type in Christmas, or type in the word Xmas, Xmas, the abbreviation for Christmas, and you'll see several articles I've written about toys to avoid, how to crush it with Christmas, how to crush it with toys, etc. Toys is the biggest category in terms of, my opinion, in terms of profitability and sales for Christmas. There's so many different ways for you to crush it this year, and my blog will give you plenty of ideas. So again, go to jordanmalik.com/blog and search type in the search field on the right, Christmas, the word Christmas, or Xmas, Xmas. And you'll get plenty of ideas that way. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the podcast where we only answer your questions about selling on Amazon. Every episode, we answer a different question submitted by you, the listener, about selling on Amazon. And if you missed an episode, just go to askjordan.net. askjordan.net. That's our official podcast page, and you can download the podcast. You can click to them in iTunes. You can click to them on YouTube, and also on askjordan.net, there's instructions on how you can submit your question. Those instructions are near the top of the page. If you want to hear your voice on an episode and get 7 of my best-selling ebooks 100% free, I'm going to tell you how to do that after we answer today's question. And today's question is from Jim in Philadelphia. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Jordan, it's Jim in Philly. Listen, just curious on your thoughts of video games. I've been having pretty good success stockpiling video games lately, getting throwing out some lowball offers on Craigslist and scoring and super clean, updated titles, all that stuff. So just curious of your thoughts, what to look for, what to avoid, your, general thoughts. Sounds great. Thanks. Take care. Bye.
Jim, I'm so glad that you brought that up. It's a great question. And this is going to be a longer podcast than usual. I'm not a expert in sourcing video games, but I get very excited about it because I think it's extremely lucrative. And there's going to be a lot of different ways where you can source these, a lot of different ideas. You're probably going to walk away from this podcast thinking, wow, and you're going to be very energized about video games. Let's talk about what we're talking about today in today's episode for video games. What we're talking about is going to be generally video games that have been manufactured in the past, 5 to 10 years. They're made for the Nintendo Wii. We're going to be talking about PlayStation, PSP. We're also going to be talking about PC games, computer games that come on the CD, and you install them on your computer. We're going to be talking, I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'm going to talk about it very briefly, but there's some video games that have been manufactured in the past 20 to 30 years or so, video game cartridges and the like, for older models of Atari, Commodore, Nintendo that you and I, Jim, that we probably played with when we were kids. Kids meaning in the late 70s, early 80s. And some of those go for like hundreds to thousands of dollars. We're not going to talk about those, but I'm going to leave a link for you. If you go to askjordan.net and scroll down to the episode number 48, you'll see some links there. There's a couple articles that were posted online recently about the extremely high value of these. You've seen one of them on Pawn Stars, actually. I think somebody brought in a Nintendo game cartridge and was sold for thousands of dollars. So there's some hugely lucrative ones. The ones that we're going to be talking about today, you generally can buy for 75 cents, $1. You can buy them in lots at a yard sale or on eBay for the equivalent of 75 cents, $1, $2 a game, and sell on Amazon used for $9, $10, $12, $15 and higher. You can do extremely well if you find some of these games still sealed, which is very possible for you to do, which we'll get into that. And you can pay $1, $2, $3, and these games that are sealed and brand new can go for exponentially higher prices on Amazon. Let me look again. I do video games. I don't specialize in this. When I sell a video game on Amazon, I've literally stumbled across it. I'm literally not even looking for video games, and I might sell, I don't know, 10 to 15 different video games per month. I do a number of different products, and the video games I stumble across are onesie twosies that I run across, and I'm still making, sometimes I make as little as a $4 profit on a game I spent $1 for. It might sell for like $9.99 or $8.99, so I'll make a $3 to $4 profit. Sometimes I would spend $4 on a video game new and sealed, and I sell it for $25, $30, $50, etc. Let me give you some my actual sales receipts, which I looked up just for this episode, and give you some ideas. I bought Star Wars Bounty Hunter for the PlayStation 2. I got this at a yard sale used. I must have paid $1 or $2 for it. It was released in, officially sold new back in the day in 2006. I found mine used at a yard sale. I paid up, maybe max I paid was $2 or $3, and mine sold for $13.99 used. If you can find it brand new, it sells for about $70. And it has an excellent sales rank in video games. There are discriminating buyers. When you get these, the PlayStation 2 games, I think, is a disc, and it comes in a case with a booklet. The cleaner, the more complete you are in listing it, you should try to be 100% complete, meaning you have the original case, the original pamphlet, and the disc itself. The cleaner, the condition, the better, because you can identify the condition as very good or like new or good or what have you. The more money you'll get more money for the better condition. And again, like I said, make sure it's complete. And the disc itself, make sure it has minimum scratches. I'm sure there's experts out there that know how to kind of clean the scratches on a disc. I do not know how to do that. I just make sure before I buy it that the disc itself that's inside the case, that's the game itself that you insert into the PlayStation 2 machine. You got to make sure that the disc itself has minimal scratches so you don't run into any problems like a return. And make sure you describe your condition thoroughly when you're listing it on Amazon. So, and one last tip before I continue is that when you sell via FBA, you can typically get much higher prices than if you were going to sell it merchant fulfilled. What do I mean by that? So many sellers who were selling this are selling it merchant fulfilled for like $4.89, $4.95, plus the shipping charges, $3.99 for shipping. You can usually get another 20, 30, 40% or much more when you sell it via FBA, meaning you're not shipping it to the buyer from home. You're sending it to the Amazon warehouse and they're handling the sale from there. The reason is, for those of you who are brand new, is that when you sell something via FBA, meaning you send all your inventory, usually in collections of stuff at a time. You send it all in a box or boxes to Amazon's fulfillment warehouse. That means you're an FBA seller, fulfillment by Amazon. They handle the sale for you. When Amazon handles the sale for you, meaning when your items are sitting in the Amazon warehouse, your item is eligible for Prime, meaning the end customer who's buying it, who is a Prime subscriber, can get 2-day shipping for no additional charge. And kids that want these games, they want it right away. They know by buying it Amazon Prime versus having a merchant ship it to them, they're much more apt to spend more money because they know they're going to get the game in a couple days versus waiting for a third-party merchant to ship it from their home. Okay, so let's get into some other examples here. That was a PlayStation 2 game. A Nintendo Wii, I had Just Dance 3 used. I bought it for $1. I sold it for $8.99. Again, this is something that was released initially in October of 2011. It's for the Nintendo Wii. Brand new, it sells for $11.49. Mine was used. I sold it for $8.99. Again, I just paid $1. So my total profit on that was probably a 300% return. Sega Casino sells brand new for $9.99. I sold mine, I think, used for $8.49. Again, these aren't huge dollar values. It's really the percentage return. I'm getting these for 50 cents or $1, and I'm getting $3 or $4 profit a piece. Deca Sports 2. I sold mine used for like $22. And Deca Sports 2 for the Nintendo Wii. That game was originally released in 2009. I bought mine for a couple dollars. I sold it used for $22, and it's another excellent ranking game. This one is a weird one. I ran into this in a thrift store. This is a PC game. This is made for the Windows PC. It is a recent release. I paid $4. It was still sealed. I got about 5 or 6 copies of this at a liquidation store. I forget where. And it was still sealed, and it's called Mahjong Games, Mahjong. And they're weird kind of Asian-styled games of solitaire and others that you play on your PC. It's $19,000 in video games. It was released in 2008, and apparently this must be hard to find because I bought them for $4. I think about 5 of them, and they've been selling for $25 and up a piece on Amazon. Okay, for some reason I have Dragon Quest. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So, okay, first let's talk about how I get my games. How I personally get my video games is something that I've been talking about for a long time that many sellers still don't do, and that is going to garage sales. Okay, so if you're in a region where there's a lot of garage sales within a 40-mile distance from you, go to gsaler.com, gsalr.com. It's one of my favorite websites for looking at area yard sales. You can also go to Craigslist. Your local Craigslist.com listings for garage sales, yard sales usually happen on the weekend, estate sales. The reason why they're my favorite way to source is that generally these video games are throwaways. It's another product where the homeowner who's having the yard sale has no idea of the value. They're telling Johnny to clean up their room or Susie to clean up their room, put everything in a box, including the video games. And the video games are sitting there and they're willing to take $1 a piece or $10 for the whole lot. You can really score very well. The reason why I say not many sellers do it is garage sales are a very unsexy way of getting inventory. Jim, I don't know if you encounter other sellers online or in the forums. There's many snobby sellers, not all of them, but there's a handful of snobby sellers that brag about how well they do with wholesale or buying new or buying retail new only, and they're the types that refuse to get their hands dirty. If you're willing to get your hands dirty at a yard sale or garage sale, you can do extremely well. I mean, I know somebody who's doing over $1 million and has hired a team of 20 people to do all his garage sales for him, meaning go out, find stuff with the scanning app and scan for stuff and bring it back, and he's doing way over $1 million in sales on Amazon. Not just video games, he's buying toys and electronics, etc. Just again to make sure when you're looking at these that they're 100% complete, meaning they have the original case, the original booklet, that if there's a CD that's a game, of course some games are cartridges. If it's a CD, a little disc that's a game, make sure there's not a lot of scratches in the back. You can always try buffing it with a soft 100% cotton t-shirt or something to kind of get rid of many of the scratches. If it's deeply scratched, I wouldn't even bother buying it. If the booklet or the case is moderately to extremely dirty, I wouldn't even bother cleaning it. If you're curious to know about what the selling prices are for games while you're out scouting at garage sales and yard sales, use the same app that I use. It's called Profit Bandit. It's made by a company called Seller Engine. I make no money by referring you to them. Profit Bandit, Google it. It's Profit Bandit for either the Android phone or iPhone. It costs $9.99 a month, and after you pay for it, you get an app on your phone that you can use with your existing phone camera, and it'll scan the barcode of the game that you're looking at, and it will return prices to you. Current selling prices on Amazon for new and used. Beware that many games that even if they look like they're going to be priced too low, a lot of those low prices are in the third-party merchant category, meaning the people that are selling it are again shipping it from home or their own warehouse or whatever. Just because a game is $2.99 or $3.99 or $4.99 from a third-party merchant who's selling it at home, make sure you're identifying who's selling it via FBA used or new, because you can get exponentially higher selling prices. So here's the idea that I always wanted to execute that I don't have the time for. And if you're going to do video games hardcore, I would always kind of envied GameStop. GameStop, the store, will take your games and give you credit, store credit, to buy. So you can. They're hoping that you buy another game in the store. I'm not telling you to do that to get the store credit, but if you go to GameStop.com/trade-values, GameStop.com/trade-values, you'll see what they're offering for their top 100 most requested games: Nintendo 3, Nintendo DS, Wii, PlayStation, Xbox One, Xbox 360. These are the much more popular games. Since your profit ability to sell used games is not limited to these. I'm just giving you this as an example. Because I don't admire GameStop because of their ability to do this. I admire that they are doing this because to me there's a huge opportunity to counter them if you place local Craigslist ads or local postcards and say, I will pay you 20% more. If you have used games, don't trade them in at GameStop. I will pay you 20% more than their current trade-in value, because their trade-in values are exponentially lower than what the price is on Amazon. They're very clever of GameStop, but most consumers, their kids, don't know anything more than GameStop. So they just think that they're going to bring their games to GameStop and GameStop is going to give them the store credit. That's their only knowledge of trading in or getting any kind of credit or money for their used games. And to me, there's a huge opportunity for you as an eBay seller, or much more appropriately here, an Amazon seller, to counter those offers. So I'm going to give you an example. On that GameStop.com page, at GameStop.com/trade-values, they're offering for a game called Dragon Quest V: Hand of the Heavenly Bride. Trade-in value or rewards pro. Trade value is $8. Rewards pro trade value, I don't know what that means, is $8.80, right? And it's a game for the Nintendo DS. So again, if Jim, let's say your son has a copy of this game, he could go, a used copy of the game, he could go to GameStop, your local GameStop store, and they're a national chain, and they'll give them store credit of roughly $8 to $9 for this game. Not cash, okay, for the game. So he can buy a newer game in the store for, which is what he's going to do. He's going to want to do that anyway. He'll get credit towards the purchase of another game in the store, the credit being $9. But if you said to your son, instead of that, I'm going to give you $20 cash. I'm just throwing that number out there. Let's say you just gave your son $10 cash and said, listen, as opposed to you trading that game in the store, I'm going to give you $10 cash. And you took the game from your son. It's selling on Amazon right now, used condition, Dragon Quest V, Hand of the Heavenly Bride, Nintendo DS. It's selling for $43.99 plus shipping. Okay, and there's no FBA sellers that I see that are selling it via FBA. All these sellers are shipping it from their home or their warehouse. So you could feasibly get, because brand new, it's selling for no FBA. Oh, here's the lowest FBA price is $59.98. So you could essentially, if the game is in very good condition, you could get about $50 for it. Now, listen to the math. GameStop is paying you for the same game. They'll pay you $8.80, but they're giving it to you in, I'm pretty sure it's just trade-in value. They don't give you cash for the game. If I could stop a kid outside the store, which I wouldn't do because that's probably soliciting or trespassing, but if I could stop a kid from going in the store and saying, hey, kid, you got that copy of Dragon Quest V? How much do you think you're going to get it? Well, here's the official trade-in value from Nintendo. From GameStop. They're going to give you $8.80 from it. I'm going to give you $15 cash, which you can use for whatever you want. Kid says fine. He hands you the $15 cash. You take the game and you sell it on Amazon for $50, and your net profit there is going to be at least, $15, $20. And the interesting thing is that that's just one way to get games, right? So you could be placing Craigslist ads or newspaper ads saying to parents, does your son have trade-in? Does your son or daughter, your children have games they will use, video games they want to trade in? Because this is a big churn here, right? Kids got to get the latest game. They're bringing their older games to GameStop. They're getting $8 credit because they want that newer game. You don't care about the newer game. You just want to be able to get your hands on those used games. And when you do, the potential profit is huge, as I just said in this example. Now, with that strategy, if you're going to say you're going to match or beat GameStop trade-in values, be careful, because I'm noticing that some of these games are selling, their trade-in values are the same what you'd get if you bought it new on Amazon.com. Okay, so right now, Call of Duty Ghosts, the trade-in value for the Xbox One and GameStop is $15 to $16. And brand new, it's selling on Amazon for the same price. I don't know what GameStop's strategy is there, but there's plenty of opportunity for you, whether you use the GameStop price comparison or not. You don't have to do that at all. You can say I pay up to $5 per used game, generally, and go meet the seller if you place a Craigslist wanted ad. say wanted video games, and I pay up to $5 per game and go meet the seller in a public area and pay up to $5, per game. You don't have to go that comparison route at all. You can be placing a Facebook post just like you do normally. When you say, hey, here's a picture of my cousin's birthday and me or whatever, you don't have to do that. You can say to your friends, does anybody have any old video games or older unwanted video games for the PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever? And if, you'd like to take them off your hands and see what they say. Some people may bring you boxes full of games and say, give me $10. Some people may say, give me $20. Some people may say, I don't want any money, you can have them, right? So eBay listings. Some eBay sellers don't have any idea what they're selling. They might come across Junior's room and have a box full of video games and put the box on auction on eBay. And I cover a lot of that in my guide, blesha.com. BLESHA, buy low on eBay, sell high on Amazon, how to find undervalued auctions and how to win them for a very low price. So where the person who's truly looking for Nintendo DS Game of Thrones or whatever, they're going to be searching Nintendo Game of Thrones, where there's going to be plenty of sellers who are selling boxes of video games, and they're just going to call the description box of video games, and they're going to have a picture of them, and you might be able to spot in the picture there's some high value ones and win the lot for $20. And I think Jim, Jim, you mentioned that in your question. You can be buying lots, what's called a lot, LOT, of video games from sellers on eBay who have no idea what they're selling, and you can buy the lot for $20, and it could end up being worth $200, $400 of value in there. So there's plenty of ways to do this, and I'm actually surprised many people aren't doing it. And I don't know, maybe there's some complications in this that I don't know, but there's plenty of value and plenty of marketplaces and plenty of ways to win in this video games. And Jim, I think it's great that you're doing terrific doing it, and I hope you continue. And maybe someday you can share some of your secrets with me. So great question, Jim. Thanks for submitting that. Jim gets all 7 of my ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. Jim, just go to askjordan.net, click on the small envelope icon in the upper right-hand corner. Send me an email so I know where to send your ebooks to. If you, the listener, want to submit a question to the podcast and have a chance to win all my best-selling ebooks just like Jim, call 516-619-ONLINE to submit your question. That's a hotline, like a recorded thing, so you're not going to be talking to a live person. It's 516-619-ONLINE, or go to askjordan.net and scroll down, look for the directions on submitting your question there. Hey, thanks again for listening. This has been the Ask Jordan podcast. We'll see you again in our next episode.